Yo, what's going on, man? Today is the 11th of September. And this is the ChrisBeCappinn. Yo, welcome in. As always, we got 3 games on the board for today. We'll get into a quick recap as we always do with the games from yesterday, go through a couple of the comments, and we'll do it like we typically do it. Yesterday was a pretty good day for myself. If you listened to the show yesterday, I had 3 plays that I really liked a lot. Ended up getting to the window with 1. The other 2 were winners as well. So we'll jump straight into the recap. Let's do that. Let's just jump straight into the recap. So New York and Dallas was an easy one. I tweeted last night, this is the easiest one I think I got in a really long time. On the show yesterday, I talked about taking it up and over 170.5, 172.5 when that number came out. There was some sharp money that came in on the over, pushed this up to like 174, 175, and it still ended up going way up and over the total. These 2 teams do play again tomorrow, so I'm interested to see what that total will be. But that was an easy winner. The Atlanta and Minnesota game was another easy winner to the under, was the play that I liked. I talked about Atlanta coming off back-to-back overtime games. They kind of just ran out of gas. I think they scored like less than 25 points in the second half. And Minnesota was able to get a win in the cover. I talked about liking Minnesota on the side as well. So some winners yesterday. Then the last but not least was Sabrina Ionescu, up and over her 5.5 assists. I gave you guys a breakdown for why I like that. That was an easy winner as well. She finished with 10 assists last night. So potential ladder spot for Sabrina. So yeah, let's see if we can replicate that today as the WNBA season comes to a close. See if we can stay hot and make some money, man. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comments. Prolific says, good morning, Chris. Round of applause for the ladies in the W for treating us well. Back at it today. Yeah, absolutely, man. WNBA been good. Outside of the, the Liberty smoking that game to the Aces on Sunday, WNBA been trending up for sure. I'm gonna have to start making a few more plays and keeping them off the short list and going official with them for sure as well. The problem is, just real quick, Prolific, the problem is sometimes I see people say this in the comment section as well, is I do these shows so early. Sometimes things, bets can be influenced by late injury report scratches, which we'll talk about that in one of the games. It's some things that influence the game, some factors, some external factors that happen that influence the game for sure. So I like to put my bets in a little bit closer to the game time, but if it's something that I really love, I will play it early. What up, Helms? What up, Bitsy? Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Michael says Fever plus 17.5 and a teaser. Oh, God. What the odds on Fever plus 17.5? Mel says, morning, Chris. Blessings to you and your family. I liked favorites yesterday, and today I'm feeling like underdogs. Heavy night. Let's get it. Yeah, somebody said they was parlaying favorites yesterday, and the favorites did cash. They won all 3. Yeah, all 3 favorites won yesterday, and all 3 favorites covered too, right? All 3 favorites won and covered. What up to my guy Justin? Big Marvin here as well. He says, love the slate tonight. Let's stay hot. Helm says, right there with you. I think it's a pretty good slate. For real says, thanks for the lock on the under links. No locks, but links were cash for sure. Skip says he cashed on that under as well. What up, Alex? Appreciate you for stopping in. He said he slapped a plus 1135 purely from listening to me yesterday. I love to hear that, Alex. Love to hear that, bro. Hopefully we can stay hot. What up, She? He says, appreciate me as always. Appreciate you for tapping in, She. Same thing for my guy, Marquise. He said he went 3-0 yesterday. Lynx minus 4.5. Kayla McBride over her 13.5 points. And Liberty team total over was a winner. They almost had 90 at the end of the third quarter. It was nice to see them not play with their food yesterday and absolutely destroy the Dallas Wings. What up, Ball Talk? Says, morning fan, profitable night. Took the Sparks plus 11.5 and sprinkled on the money line. I'm tweaking. Yeah, I can't touch the Sparks. Sparks don't look like they're that interested in playing basketball right now, though. What up, Fremont? Has finally caught a live show, been working different hours. What up, bro? Hope all is well with you. And Collier hooked over 8.5 rebounds. She messed up a 6-leg parlay for CG. 6 legs is a lot, man. I only got 2, and I typically don't even parlay 2. Sabrina Cash, Kyra says, yeah, she cashed pretty easily. What up, DJ Props? Says Sparks don't even cover the first half anymore. We can only trust them to cover the first quarter for the rest of the season. I don't think I'm putting any of my hard-earned money on the Sparks at all, but we'll see how it goes. Zell says Fever gave up 90 to the Dream in regulation last night. Give me the Aces team total over 90.5, please. Going to keep taking Sparks team total unders until they stops cashing. Yeah, that Sparks future that we put in is looking pretty good. Hopefully it can stay that way. Good morning to you as well, Kara. Cup of Joe says, morning, people. What's up to you? Morning, Joe. All right, let's jump into the 3 games that we got on the board for today. The first one will be I got so many tabs open. It's hard to keep up with everything that's going on. All right, so we got the Aces and the Fever. Game will be played in Indiana. And we got a clean injury report for both teams. Nobody listed on the injury report here at all. And I do think that this line has moved just a tad bit. It was 2.5 when I made the graphics yesterday. I think this is up to 3.5. Yeah, so it's 3.5. It looks like it's the consensus right now, so don't pay attention to that. And total also trickling up. Looks like the average odds of 178, some 178.5s on there up here as well. And this open 177. So some money coming in on the over, some money coming in on the Aces is what we have preliminary here. Getting into the spot. So we look at this Aces team, 1 day's rest, third of a 4-game road trip, and they have covered their last 5 spreads. Even in that loss against Liberty on Sunday, they covered their 5 spreads, and I'll talk about why I think they've covered their 5 spreads, 5 straight spreads in a row. And this is the first of a little mini series. They got the Indiana Fever again. I think it's on Friday. And Aces have been balling recently. You can see it in the numbers here. Season rankings, last 5 games, they are the number 1 net rated team, 3rd in offensive rating, 2nd in defensive rating over the last 5 games. And the Fever also been playing pretty good as well. They just can't stop anybody. Defensively, they're still ranked 9th. Coming off 1 day's rest, coming off an overtime game against the Atlanta Dream, and it's the 4th game of a 5th game homestand for them. And this is going to be a really good game, man. I've been able to pick the Fever right recently a lot if people have been paying attention to the show. I talked about wanting to fade them. Well, I talked about staying off of that last game against Atlanta. And I talked about fading them against the Lynx. And the last time the Fever were at home, I think it was against Connecticut, and we picked that one right as well. We did take the Fever to upset the Connecticut Sun in that spot. Now, looking back at this one, historically, the Indiana Fever have not beaten the Las Vegas Aces since 2020. It's been a long, long time. I know that the Aces have won the last 10 straight games, and I think it's more than that, honestly. This is the shortest line that they've been laying in a long, long time. They've been double-digit favors against the Indiana Fever 10 straight times in a row. When I say double digits, I'm not talking about laying 10. I'm talking about laying at least 12, 12.5, 13. This will be the 3rd matchup of the season, and the Aces have continued to dominate this team. 99-80 in the first matchup and 88-69 in the second matchup. And that's when the Fever had actually started playing a little bit better on July the 2nd. This is a very, very tough game. Also, the thing I want to mention is that Asia Wilson is not on the injury report. She was a late scratch. Remember, when we did the show on Sunday, she also wasn't on the injury report, but I told you guys I thought that she could potentially miss that game, and she did. She ended up getting ruled out. The other thing I wanted to mention just really, really quickly is the standings in the WNBA, the updated standings in the WNBA. So with the Fever are in the sixth spot, and they probably won't move up. They're 2.5 games behind the Seattle Storm. Potentially catch them, but I don't think so. The Storm probably gonna smoke the Sparks today. And the Las Vegas Aces can be caught by the Storm, so they still have a lot to play for. And the difference between the 4 and the 5 seed, of course, is home court advantage. So I think that's something to mention as well. I kind of think the Aces won this game when I look at it from that perspective. You can't really lose games. The other thing, and I mentioned this on Sunday, is that Coach Becky Hammond really lit this team up. She really got into them when they lost that game the other day against the last time that they lost against the Dallas Wings. Since then, the defensive rating has been really, really good. One of the things I want to mention real quick, and then I actually bookmark here. I saw a stat that came out that I want to share with you guys, and then I didn't play the game though, so I'm gonna stop talking and get into the comments, and we'll move on to the next game. But this is a very intriguing game. Will I make a play? Maybe. Will it be anytime soon? Nah, I want to make sure Asia is in before I do make a play. But this is what stood out to me the most. Aces defense kind of peaking at the right time right now. First 5 games of the season, they had a defensive rating of 98.3. They were 4-1 in that time. Last 5 games, defensive rating of 92.9. And you guys can see it defensively. They're the second best team over the last 5 games. They're 4-1 in that stretch, and one of the reasons why they are the number 1 net rated team. I know that the Fever's offense has been humming. You can see that they're the second best offensive rated team. I just kind of feel like when the Aces are in form, they can slow anybody down. If you can slow down the Liberty offense, I think you can slow down this Fever offense as well. Like I said, I kind of want to see what happens with Asia before I make a play on the game, but I like the under. The higher it go, the more I think I'll wait. 178.5, I think is the number. Fever also 4-1 to the under in their last 5 games as a home dog. So this is typically when they play their best brand of basketball as well. The only game that went over was the last game against the Minnesota Lynx, where they absolutely couldn't stop the Minnesota Lynx. So I kind of feel like, I know both of these teams play with pace, but I kind of feel like it's an under spot. I do like the under if I'm playing the game. Let's see what you guys are thinking before we move on to the next one. What up, AOD? Appreciate you, my guy, for being here as always. Justin says he's going with Asia up and over her 27.5 in his pocket. Could not talk you off. Depending on how she looks, I don't know. I think that the boot was precautionary, just for people who don't know. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Helm says, I'm going to take Las Vegas, but I don't love it here. It's the only way I can look as well, Helm. I do think it's a Vegas spot, man. Like I said, it's hard to fade the Fever nowadays, but defensively, they don't really lock in, man. And it's a difference between and just real quick so you guys know it, there's a difference between taking the Fever as a home favorite and a home dog. And that's the biggest thing that stands out to me. And you even see it in the last game. When they're a home favorite, they just don't play as much defense. Which is why that game went up and over the total on Sunday against the Atlanta Dream. So real quick, the Fever as a home favorite, 8-0 to the over. Every single game have gone over for the Fever. This was something that I've been paying attention to. As a home dog, 5-4 to the under. Like I said, the only game that went over recently was the game against the Minnesota Lynx, where they couldn't stop the Lynx from scoring the basketball. Lynx probably the best offensive team in the WNBA, if not second, though. The Aces offense has not been humming like that. They've been more so inclined to play better offensive games. And I think that they can limit they'll take this game serious and they can limit the Fever in this spot as well. So I like under. I do like under. What up, Mitchell? Appreciate you for tapping in. Aces about to slap the Fever around. Won't be surprised if Asia gets 40 tonight. Taking Aces minus 3.5, Chris. Okay. I like it. He says 3.5 is a gift. Won't even catch them this small of a favorite all season unless they play the Liberty. So I did look into this as well. So you look at the Aces as a short road favorite where they're laying, I think I looked at less than 4. Only happened twice this season. They're 1-1 in those games. They lost to the Lynx, beat the Sun on a game that we did take the under in, and both of those games actually went under the total as well. So yeah, if you look at the Aces as road favorites of 5 points or less, so close games on the road, all 4 of them have actually stayed under the total, stayed under by an average of 16 points as well. So I like the under. I do like the under. Contrarian look probably, but I do like the under. Couple Joe likes the Aces. He said, how about the Fever? He says the Fever are rolling the Aces and the Mercury. When it comes to guards, I think we could ride the Fever, spread or the team total. DJ Prop says, not sure if I have a side in the game, but I really like the over 178.5. Think we see fireworks in this game. So on the opposite side there, my guy DJ Props. She says on the Aces here. Sounds too easy, doesn't it, House? Java Down says, call me weird, but I think the Fever take this game very personal and win outright, but lose Friday. That's the other thing. You can stay off the first one and play the second one, man. This is a very intriguing game. I'm not playing anything till I know for sure Asia is going to play the game, and then I'll see where the total goes throughout the day. That's just how I'm thinking. Justin says, I think Asia gets to 1,000 points this game, betting the points over every game till I'm convinced she don't care about 1,000 points. Okay. I like the under. Drop it down says playoff atmosphere. I love it. I love it. I love it. What up to my guy Fred? Says been firing for sure. Can definitely see the Aces covering. What about the team total over? I don't know if I like the team total over. I think I like just like the full game under, because when I look at the Fever, and they've been home dogs this season. They've held outside of the Lynx game. Outside of the Lynx game where they allowed the Lynx to go over their team total by 12.5, they held the Sun under by 4.5. They held the Storm under by 12.5. They held the Liberty under by 14.5 back on July 6th. That was the big one, 83 to 78. That was a total of 174, and that game flew under the total by, what was it, by 10.5? I don't even see the total. 174. Flew under by 14 points. So yeah, I like this under. Also, when I look at the Aces as short favorites, right, 5 points or less, the Aces haven't necessarily hit their team total in all these games. The Aces are actually under in every single game that they were a short road favorite this season as well. The defense just plays a lot better. 4 games they played as a road favorite of 5 points or less. All 4 have actually gone under the total. What up, Lightbearer? Bitsy says going back to the well with Caitlin Clark, same game parlay, 20-8 for him. Okay. All right, cool. I think we did a pretty good job here. Pretty good job. Stayed on this game a lot longer than I thought I would. Let's go over to Mystics in the Sky. Injury report for this. So Mystics getting 2.5 points. I think this number is down to 1.5 total. I think is about the same, 160.5-ish. And so some money coming in on the under, which I absolutely agree with. Injury report in this game, Shakira Austin is ruled out already. She hasn't played. I think it's been like, 5 or 6 games for Shakira Austin. I think 4. So 4 games. This will be the 5th game for Shakira Austin. Washington Mystics playing well without her anyway, though. And Chicago Sky, Diamond DeShields will be out in this game. She's without a timetable to return, I think, after spraining her right ankle in that last game against the Dallas Wings. So big playoff implications on this game. I don't know what the Washington Mystics want to do. They can make the playoffs, especially with the Atlanta Dream losing again last night. They are a game behind the Atlanta Dream, and they're only 2 games behind the Chicago Sky with about 5 or 6 games left to go. This is very, very intriguing to me, man. The Washington Mystics, in my opinion, with no injuries on the floor, is the better team. And real quick, let me just take this comment off and get into the spot here. You see, for the Mystics, 1 day's rest, first of a 2-game road trip, 8 straight different gym for them. I don't like this for the Mystics. Remember, I talked about this for the Dream last night as well, potentially running out of gas. The Mystics have either played home, road, or home or road. 8. This will be the 8th straight game for them where they've had to travel from place to place. I don't like that for them as much at all. But with you look at the Sky last couple wins, man. They beaten up on in my opinion, the 2 worst teams in the WNBA. They got a big win against the Dallas Wings, 92-77. They also got a big win against the Sparks, 92-78, with Kennedy Carter back in the lineup. Now you take away another player, so already no injuries for the rest of the season with the hairline fracture in her wrist. Then you take away Diamond DeShields, and I just think that, this line opened, I think, at 4 yesterday, 3.5, something like that. I do think it's a Washington Mystics spot. The Mystics have been the much better team, in my opinion. And the way just in case the Mystics do want to take the game, I'm not sure if they want to take the game away or not. I know that if they lose and the Sky end up making the playoffs, they can get a better seeding as far as the playoffs go. And I think it's also fair to mention that I always thought that Shakira Austin was kind of like, I thought that the coach was like just holding her back and not letting her play because she was, like they were trying to take the games away. But I did see on Twitter yesterday that she tweeted out, she just wants to get back to her normal self. So that lets me know that, at least in my opinion, the way I interpreted that is that she does want to play. Like, it's unfortunate that she continues to get hurt and continue to have these minor setbacks that cost her 4 or 5 games at a time. But the Mystics without her, I already talked about it. They just spread the floor really well. I think Chicago really, really struggles in this spot, especially without having Angel Reese out there. Kennedy Carter, is going to have to put the team on her back again. You're going to need a big game from Cardosa, which I can see them pulling her away from the floor, out from the to the 3-point line, especially trying to have to guard Stephanie Dolson. I like Washington in this spot. I think the other way to look, if you don't want to take them in the full game, you just take Washington in the first half. This is where they typically ball out, man. Since the Olympic break, one thing I went back and looked at, since the Olympic break, The Washington Mystics, we know how well they've been in the first half in general, but they are 7-3 against the spread in the first half since the Olympic break. A perfect 4-0 if they're a road dog as well. And this line could potentially flip to them being a favorite. You look at the full season for the Mystics, and I'm on Moneyballer, as I always am. 24-9-2, by far the best ATS team in the first half. 13-3-1 as a road dog in the first half. And when I was looking at it yesterday, I think the best number I could get, because I don't even want the point, I think it's like plus a half you could get. The best number I saw was plus 110 last night when I was looking into this game. Let's see if I can find it really quickly. What do I do with my live eye screen? All right, cool. I'm tripping. All right. First half money line. First half money line for Washington, plus 100 on FanDuel right now. There's plus 110 last night. That's the play that I like the most. Washington Mystics first half money line. It was plus 110 on BetMG on Bet365 last night. It's minus 105 now. So definitely money coming in on Washington. I do think they're the better team, and if they really motivated, I think that they could beat this Sky team for sure. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one before we get into the next one. So to this comment right here, Cuppa Joe says the under at 180.5 is a minus 135, slightly juiced, but I like that. On Fanatics, Cuppa Joe says, I would say this, Cuppa Joe. I would say wait until, in my opinion, this is what I'll do. I'll wait and see. I'll check it periodically throughout the day. When it gets up to, like, if it reaches 180 and a half, 181, I'll just, we still got plenty of time. So if the public comes in, bets the over, that's when I'll take the under without having to lay as much juice, is my opinion. What else should I saying about this one? Kelsey Plum points going back to the last game. Helm says he likes the under 161 here. Love it. He says he loves it. I love it as well. I do think this is going to be a game. One thing I'll talk about just very, very quickly is the Washington Mystics defense. To Helm's point, last 5 games, it's not really reflected in the in the graphic here, but because they had that loss to I think it was the Minnesota Lynx in one of those games. But the Washington Mystics defense has been very, very good. They've actually forced the most turnovers in the last 5 games, and I think they've already beat the Chicago Sky a couple times already as well. And opponents averaging just 81 points per game in their last 5 games. The Chicago Sky offensive numbers have been inflated, of course, because of the last 2 meetings with the worst 2 defenses in the WNBA. So yeah, I like the under here as well. John says, can I take Mitchell and Clark unders? I don't know about all that. I don't know who's gonna do what, but I know I like the under. I don't know how it's gonna work out, but I like the under. Cardoso getting took out of the paint, Mel says, and I agree with that. Helm says public on the over, money on the under, total coming down. Dougie Bone likes Kennedy Carter 20 and her assists, and Carter assists as well. Mystics plus 104. First half is in Justin's pocket. He played it already. So plus 104 on Bet Rivers, plus 104 on Bally Bet, if anybody got access to those. Definitely get the best price for sure. What up, Jay Aries? He likes Mystics first half as well. DJ Prop says smash the under and don't think twice. Mystics are offenseless. I think you mean that the Chicago Sky are offenseless. I think Mystics can score in this spot. Their offense has been pretty good. They've been shooting the 3-point ball well. Helm says Mystics double result. A good look in my opinion. So he thinks they win the first half and the full game. Young Man Travel says he likes Izzy in this spot. Isabel Harris over her points in this one. She looked good in that last game. She'll have to play big minutes for sure with no injuries. I'm interested to see if we get her lines. Drop a Dime says under. Blunt says another layup, Chris. Take the Sky minus 1.5 here. Mystics don't want to play basketball. They already had an upset win versus the Mercury. That was their Super Bowl. Man, I don't think we could disagree more on this one. A Super Bowl? A Super Bowl for the Mystics. The Mystics lost to the Lynx by 7, beat the Mercury, beat the Wings, lost to the Sun, beat the Sky, beat the Storm, beat the Sparks. They've won 5 of their last 7 games and covered every spread outside of the one. They've covered all their spreads except the Sky game. Yeah, I don't think I could disagree with that one more. Helm says that double result is plus 156. I like it, Clipper. Mystics first half would be the way that I'm looking. Helm says Mystics coach way too good to say they don't want to play basketball. And I agree. They playing super competitive. I'm not sure what who said that. I'm not sure what Blunt been watching. They've been cooking. What up, Mark? He says he got Mystics plus 2 last night. Like it a lot. Bitsy says Mystics first half team total over 39 in his pocket. Okay. All right, cool. And Mark says he'll tell the under here as well. Helm says last 2 times they played, it stayed under 150. Do we get a first half under if that's the case? When I like unders, I typically like first half unders because WNBA, man, if you go back and track it, the first half, if the full game goes under, typically the first half goes under as well. You see the offense start really, really slow. And I can see Chicago getting off to a very slow start in this game, especially after having 2 really strong offensive performances, probably their best 2 offensive performances back-to-back with 92 points, I think, in both of those games. So let me just really quickly go back to moneyballer.com and look at the Washington Mystics first half totals. So Mystics are 10-7 to the first half under on the full season. Chicago Sky are 21-14 to the first half under as well. So both teams are trending towards the under for the first half. If I just isolate after the All-Star break, then it tells me that the Mystics are 2-2 as a road dog in the first half. The Sky are 6-5 to the over in the first half. What if I look at home road splits? Home road splits tell me that they don't tell me anything different. Sky 11-7 to the first half under, and the Washington Mystics 10-7 to the first half under. So they are some not super strong trends, but some strong trends for sure. Mystics opponent team total in the first half 12-5 to the under. So that proved when they're a road dog, 13-5 to the under are their opponent's team total in the first half on the full season when they're a road dog. Overall, I'm sorry. And the Sky is a home favorite. Opponents 4-1 to their team total under as well. I think I like first half under, Hums. That's gonna be something that I write down for sure. First half under. All right, let's get to it. Game says Kennedy Carter might have 50 tonight. I think the Mystics got some pretty good defenders. That's just my opinion, though. All right, let's go. Last game on the board. We got Storm and Sparks. Not a game that I'm super interested in. I'll just let you guys know off the rip. This line was 9.5 last night. I think the point spread did move to 10. Might be 10.5 or 11, honestly. And just not a great spot for either team, in my opinion. Looks like 11 is the consensus. And looks like the total is 160. Let's see. 163.5. So about right with the total. You get the Sparks in a really bad spot. So second game of a two-leg home of a home back-to-back. Also third game in 4 nights for the Sparks. You get a Storm team that's pretty well rested. 3 days rest. First of a 2-game road trip for them. I always, when I talk about the Sparks, I always mention that I have the season win total under for them as well. They under 8.5 wins. So as long as they don't win 2 more games, they do have a difficult schedule. Hopefully they can cash that bet for us and everybody else who took it when I gave it out on the show and to the members. They are 7-29 now. This did not get updated from last night. 16-20 against the number, 5-13 against the spread at home and straight up and against the spread. And then you get the Storm coming off a nice win against the Mercury. We did get that one right. Defensively, they're starting to lock back in. That was a really, really good confidence boosting win. And I don't see why they couldn't do the same thing here again. The problem with the Storm, specifically on the road, is that their offense can fall off a cliff. When they're shooting the ball well, they look really, really good. Skylar Diggins-Smith shot the ball really, really well. Jewel Lloyd had a double-digit quarter in that last game against the Mercury as well. And they kind of steamrolled the Mercury in that game. On the road, they haven't been able to find as much offensive success for whatever reason. We know that this is the worst three-point shooting team in the WNBA. And you expect the Sparks to be, a little fatigued in this spot and to be able to give it up offensively. I'm just not sure if the Sparks come along for the ride. I really want to take the over in this game if I like anything at all. I'm just not sure if the Sparks come along for the ride. I will say, if you like the Sparks, as I always say, you typically want to take them first half. I know they didn't cover yesterday in the first half, but that's the only way I'm looking. That's the only way I would be able to take the Sparks. It's not a good basketball team. It does kind of feel like they, may just, throw it in on the season already, probably already getting ready for vacation. And the Storm, they can still move up. We talked about it already. They can still move up in the standings here. So I think that's important to mention here. Not that they need necessarily win the game by double digits, but if the Aces end up losing today and the Storm end up winning today, they will have an identical record at 22-14. So that's something to mention. I'm not sure who owns the tiebreaker. I think Aces own the tie. Aces do own the tiebreaker because the Aces beat them in Vegas and they also beat them in Seattle. And the Seattle beat them in Vegas as well. So yeah, this will be a game that they want to win. I'm not sure if they need to do it by double digits. If I look at just real quickly, let's just look at something real quick. Let's look at Seattle as double-digit road favorites. I'm pretty sure it hasn't happened that often. They are, first time all season they've been a double-digit road favorite. Storm as a favorite in general just been real nasty work. 4-6 against the number. Biggest line that they've laid before today was this against this Sparks team. That game did go up and over the total. It was the last game before the Olympic break. I do remember that game. 89-83. They were laying 9.5 points in that spot. Total was 162.5. Today is up a little bit. And it's just not a game I'm super interested in. I know I'm not taking the Sparks. You can't pay me to take the Sparks at all. So especially, given the spot. So I kind of like the over, but it's not anything that I'll be playing here. Mark says he laid the 10.5. I couldn't talk you off. TC Best says he likes Nneka Ogwumike over her 15.5 points. And Rikia Jackson over her 14.5, half unit on each for him. Cubba Joe says Sparks have quit. 1-2-3 Cancun. I can't tell what the Sparks are doing, man. I watched the first half of the game last night, and they just look terrible. And the Storm have the ability to lock this Sparks team up. If they come in defensively, they can lock the Sparks up the same way that Connecticut did the last two games. So maybe a Sparks team total under is something that we could potentially look at here. But that's, like I said, I kind of like the full game to go over just because of the spot. I don't know. Storm play with their food a little bit too much on the road for me to want to lay points with them, especially a big number like 10. The other thing I want to mention is just really quickly. Favorites laying 10 points this season, not been profitable. 18-35 on the full season, only covering 34%. Not profitable at all. Last three have actually covered though. Sun beat the Sparks they covered the 10.5. They covered the 11.5. And Liberty beat the Wings, covered the 10.5 as well. And that could be, symbolic of teams just kind of giving up at the end of the season. Who knows? I'm staying off of this game. Sparks team total 76.5 though. I kind of like the under. I think that's a lot of points for the Sparks to score. I do kind of like the under, but I'll stay away. All right. What up, G421? Dougie Bone says Nneka points on the return. Give 20 points a good look. If she could absolutely cook tonight, man. Y'all know what I always say about playing the Sparks. Somebody on the opposing team, big, is going to have a great game. Bree Jones had 21 last night, I think, or 19. Either way, she went up and over her points prop. She absolutely cooked them, and that's what I'm expecting today. Somebody. G545 says Sparks won Paige Beckers. De'Erica Hamby not trying to play. They're on the bench. They got on the bench. Yeah, she did go under. She did go under yesterday. Cuppa Joe reminding people to hit the like button. T. Mitchell says, Chris, what do you think about the Storm first half at 5.5 minus 120? I think if the Sparks have a chance to cover anything, it'll be the first half. I can see them running out of gas, being the second leg of a back-to-back third game in 4 nights. It's a young team, of course. Kind of like the Fever coming off an overtime game. Like, it doesn't really mean as much when it's a younger team. But yeah, I think the longer the game goes on, the more it favors Seattle, in my opinion. Dropping Dimes to Sparks team total under. I can see it. Young Man Travel says Seattle team total over. If you liking both of these, then you just like the spread. You like the spread. You could have got a 9.5 last night. It is up to 11 now. No, I know I'm probably gonna stay away from this game. Not anything that I'm interested in. Let's jump into a quick recap, man. I didn't play either of these yet, but this is the way I'm liking the games. I'll see where the total goes. I also want to confirm that Asia Wilson is in for the Las Vegas and the Indiana game. But I love Washington first half, though. I do think that's probably my favorite play on the board. Like I said, you can get a plus 104 on a couple books, but plus 100, I think, is also good odds for the Washington Mystics as well. They've covered every game since the Olympic break. And I think they're a better team against Chicago, even with Kennedy Carter in. But you lose Diamond DeShields off that bench. And, of course, no Angel Reese. Like I said, the Chicago Sky have been playing against the bottom feeders of the WNBA. The Washington Mystics are absolutely hot right now, covering all the numbers. So we'll see how it goes. Best of luck to you guys on whatever it is that you do play. And I'll probably end up playing both of these. I'm going to just see what happens with that total. I do want to confirm that Asia Wilson is in. Even though I think she's going to play, I want to make sure that she plays. Timeout Sports says Asia will play. She ain't on the injury report. She wasn't on a Sunday either. Timeout Sports. She wasn't on the injury report for Saturday either. She didn't play. So just pay attention to that, man. You got to watch the game. You can't always look at the injury report. You gotta be locked in on the games for sure. Resources I use are here. Referral code for OzJam is listed as it always is. 20% off your first month using code CBC if you guys are interested in checking out all of the great things that OzJam have to offer. Same thing for Moneyballer, 50% off your first month. They're still running that deal. Super profitable. I mean, not profitable, but it's just some super profitable angles on there. You just got to know what you're doing. But yeah, I definitely love Moneyballer. Check them out, man. Use code ChrisBeCappinn with 2 P's and 2 N's. And that'll be the show for today. Do me a favor on the way out. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the show, if you found it helpful. Tell your friends, your coworkers, your family, your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad, your cousins, everybody. Link for all my official plays in the description. Make sure you guys are betting responsibly, like I always say. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. You can turn the notification bell on so you know when I go live as well. Enjoy your Wednesday, man. We'll be back tomorrow. Talk some Thursday night football and WNBA slate for tomorrow. I'm out.